Some girls will do some of the dumbest shit once they've gone through a breakup. It's perceived by the man that she always just wanted to leave, that she never really cared, that she just wanted to go sleeping with other people. And that's actually what she kind of does. She does go seeing a lot of other men, and she will go sleep at their houses, sometimes not even just to have sex, just to literally cuddle with that person. And then, of course, the man, whoever she's cuddling with, really gets upset and pressures for sex. But what fascinates me is that when she's doing something like that, it's because she's in a lot of pain and she's trying to numb that pain, among other reasons. And what is really stupid about this, though, is that she actually puts herself in a lot of danger. I do remember helping a friend out one time who was potentially in a very dangerous situation. It was very awkward to have to pick her up, but it got me thinking, like, why are we putting ourselves in this position where we become endangered? Why are we endangering ourselves? And not just with any man. I'm talking someone who may potentially have illegal weaponry, someone who potentially brags about their violent behavior. I don't know, someone, I'm not judging people with tattoos, but, the type of stereotype who is on the lower end of the financial well-being spectrum, has a lot of tattoos, drinks a lot of alcohol, will smoke, and the house won't be clean. Why are we going to people's houses like that? And why I bring this up all of a sudden is actually because I am reflecting on something I literally just said a couple of hours ago, where I said if you are walking in darkness, you're going to attract someone who also walks in darkness. If you are unclean, you're very likely going to attract someone else who is unclean. And if you are unsound in mind, you're also going to attract someone else unsound in mind. And so in a sense, you attract who you are. The reason someone like me doesn't attract people with tattoos, the reason someone like me doesn't necessarily attract people from clubs, the reason someone like me doesn't necessarily attract obese people is because it doesn't even exist in my mind. I tend to attract people who are more like me. And that's where this whole attraction thing's in the first place. Like, this is how attraction operates. It's you've got one thing over here and another thing over here, and they're kind of drawn towards each other. Now, whether they separate and leave and go on the hunt for someone else is another story. Because of course, we're attracted to the opposite sex by nature. But if you are to attract someone who is in an unsound state of mind, it is potentially because you yourself are sitting in an unsound state of mind. If you are a junkie, you are very likely going to attract a junkie. Like, you are who you hang around with. And this is why some people who are really trapped and in the mud in those types of really hell of an environment, they want change. And if they see change, they're like, you clean themselves up. It's a noticeable difference. And the type of people that they attract, once they clean themselves up, if they've even made it to that point, they're going to attract someone on the same level as them. And so think about this for a moment. If you are struggling with any challenges in your relationship, whatever it is that you're looking at your partner or romantic interest, whatever struggles or dilemmas that you're facing with them, whatever weird ass things that you're going through, whatever is bothering you about them, like, it depends on the severity and the context, but as a surface level diagnosis, you could look at yourself and ask yourself, what about my state of mind attracted this to me? For example, maybe you have an abusive partner, which is not a good sign at all. Is it because you yourself tolerate abuse? You actually abuse yourself, and this is the reason why you actually attract a lot of abusive partners. And you yourself actually may even abuse other people and even feel justified in doing so without even realizing how you make other people feel. If you are attracting someone who is fairly manipulative, is it because you yourself are manipulative? I myself may be potentially manipulative, and I might attract someone who is also potentially manipulative, someone who might be very self-centered. And so you kind of rub off on each other. But what if we are humble? What if we are vulnerable? Sometimes, though, not every single mirror effect is brought about by the same cause. Or what I mean to say is, not every action that we commit will bring about the exact same mirror effect. So, for example, if you're in an argument, your calmness will actually intensify the other person's anger. So sometimes different causes have different effects. But it's still the general rule. What your state of mind is going to attract another person in a similar nature. With the calmness versus the intensifying anger scenario, if you were the type of person who was calm under pressure, is it possible that the reason your romantic interest keeps raising the voice and intensifies their anger because you yourself, as the calm person, actually did something disproportionate? Whether or not what you did was justified, was it disproportionately equal to that person's outrage? For example, what if you go behind their back and you didn't tell them something that really mattered to them, something that really put a dagger in their heart, and you brush that to the side like that it wasn't a big deal and that they're overreacting? Perhaps you keep making subtle threats, suggesting that you're going to continue your behavior, and this will actually intensify your romantic interest's anger. And so in that scenario, this is about a disproportionate state of mind. If you are doing something disproportionate, your partner is probably also behaving disproportionately. So we're not quite looking at the calmness versus the anger. It's more about the disproportionate equals disproportionate. If you are overly vulnerable to the point where you try to impress or catch your romantic interest's heart by thinking that if you give them these gifts, if you think that by being super sweet that they're going to fall head over heels for you because you kind of expect them to be that way and they actually pull away, it's almost like it's the same thing. Your actions were disproportionate, hence their actions are disproportionate. I had another video talking about this about a year ago. It was kind of spot on about why going on the chase is not the best move. There's a very subtle but yet very important reason as to why that is. I can't quite remember on the top of my head. I'll have to look it back up. Or maybe even this. Maybe you give them something or you text them and they never ever get back to you. Or they owe you something. Like there was an arrangement made and they owed you and they never got back to you on it. It could be that our agreement to enter into this contract essentially was disproportionate in itself, and this is the reason why we're seeing disproportionate behavior on their end. We accepted and invited disproportionate behavior because we are in ourselves disproportionate in mind, and this is kind of perhaps the reason we're seeing disproportionate behavior from other people. We keep on allowing it. So basically what this means is if you are a calm person, you will likely attract someone else who is calm. If you are a well-kept person, you are likely to attract someone who is well-kept. If you are a very intellectual person, you are likely going to attract another person who is very intellectual. If you are a very argumentative person with a strong ego, you may also end up attracting someone else with a very big ego. If you are a smoker, you may likely attract someone who also does smoking. Is this a 100%? No, but it is a rough estimate of what to expect.